go to work. Let's look at verse 1. Look at what Paul says. He says, I beseech. And that word beseech in the Greek, it means to call alongside. It means to exhort. It means to help. It means to beg. It means to encourage. And in one translation, it means to counsel. So look at what Paul is saying. Now, Paul has what theologians call apostolic authority because he is an apostle. And so based upon his apostolic authority, Paul says, I beg you, I exhort you, I call you alongside of God to get help. I encourage you, I implore you. Amen? And watch what he says here. I beg you, I exhort you, I encourage you. Then he goes, he says, you therefore. And therefore, in the Greek, it means to offer oneself to God based on a prior work for a purpose. In other words, this is what Paul is saying. Based upon what Jesus Christ has already done for you. Because there had to be a prior work in order for me to logically respond to him by faith. Because you can't respond to nothing. And so watch what he's saying here. God does not expect you to do anything for him unless he does something for you. You can't be faithful to God unless God is faithful to you. So look at what Paul is saying in the Greek. He says, I beg you, based upon the prior work of redemption that Jesus Christ has accomplished for you on Calvary, which is for a purpose. He just didn't die on the cross to die on the cross, but he hung, he bled, he died, he rose again, and he rose that our life may have purpose. He rose that our life may have meaning. And of course, this is not our purpose, but it's God's purpose. Amen? So we were not created for our purpose. We were created for the purpose of God. And so Paul says this offering should be one of willingness. It should be one of gratefulness. So what he says here is, I gratefully offer myself to God based on what he has already done for me. Because what he has done for me, I can never do for him. I want it to register. Watch this. God only expects you to faith in him and to obey him. And that's based upon his prior work of redemption. And what God is saying to us, and therefore I have proven myself to you. So based on what I have proven to you in myself, I want you to give yourself to me so I can prove to you over and over again who I really am. And this is what Paul is saying. He says, I exhort you, or I beg you to give yourself to God for God's purpose, so that God can work a work in you. I want that to come alive in your spirit. He says, I call you, I encourage you, I exhort you to offer yourself to God